my experience after coming to Nagaland was I have seen that sometimes environmental factors can cause learning issues. Might not necessarily fall in dyslexia, but it can also um, it can also happen because most of our schools in villages and all are not, you know, teachers are not trained properly, or we don't give them enough time, so a child spends most of the time not learning anything. So that is when we see that a lot of the environmental factors comes to play. However, there are also others where a parent might be consuming a lot of alcohol, drug addict parents. Those things can also hamper a child's brain, because when the baby is developing in the womb and then the mother takes drugs, or comes from parents who have take alcohol, so there are a lot of um, problems associated with it, because the brain doesn't develop normally with all those intake of drugs and alcohol. Now, children with neurological conditions like epilepsy, yeah, so children who've had seizures and convulsions, so those children also tend to have dyslexia, or one of the other SLDs, because our brain needs to receive oxygen every second. So when we are talking about even birth traumas, like you know a woman is trying to give birth, but there's a complication, and the baby is not born on time. Immediately as the baby is born, he or she has to breathe and cry. Now that crying bit is very important. There are some children who we say that have not birth cry was absent. Now crying is very important because immediately it signals to the brain and the oxygen just starts flowing. So that is a normal process of the brain, how the brain receives oxygen. And because the brain receives the oxygen, all the neurons, all the cells, everything in the brain starts connecting. Unless that oxygen passes through the brain, you don't get that immediate reaction. Okay, so when there is a slow thing reaction to the brain, it actually slows the brain also development. So that's very important. So conditions like this, if you're aware and you can also talk to the parent about it, then you can get a specialist involved or some other teachers involved, where you can talk to the parent to receive help. So background history is very, very important for all other teachers to check, because this will give you very a more solid based on your findings. Okay, so once you do this, then intervention becomes easier. But when you're trying to, as teachers, and even with my experience, initially we were just so happy labeling everyone. Oh, this one ADHD. Oh, this one LD. This one, So it became like that. So we were just labeling people, but you don't know where to go for the help. So that's why remember that your focus should not be the disability. It should always be the child, because you cannot look at a child with the disability and still plan to help. The disability has to be something else, the difficulty has to be something else, and the child has to be different. So unless you deal with them like that, you are not going to get past. Because if you're going to sit down with a child and still think the problem is this dyslexia, I have to get, so you're not, it's not going to be a good approach. Okay. Okay, so now coming into how you identify, we've seen about, and you have also understood about all the reading, writing aspect, but there are also other aspects. Now, if you talk about some of your friends, who have been academically weaker in school, and the underachievers, do you also sometimes see that, okay, some of them are but very good in sports, very good, very articulate, and very humorous. There's something in them that is outstanding, so and even among your students also, you may see that, okay, he can talk, he's like, he's such a smooth talker, but then when he sits in class, he disturbs everyone. Or he's very helpful, he helps the teachers, and he tries to be good to all his friends. Yeah, but in the class, again, another story. So if you've had those kind of experiences, then yeah, it's something that you should be worried about, because then you should know where to go for help. And also, um, very problematic children. Some children will be extremely good to get away with problems. Some children will be extremely difficult and get away with problems. Yeah. So sometimes in your classroom where you have the naughtiest and you send them to the last bench because you're always disturbing them, because you're so naughty, breaking all the rules, homework's incomplete. spelling is incomplete, test you're always absent, children who are going to give tests, exams, you fall sick, and sometimes we say that, oh, you're always falling sick during test. But sometimes when dyslexic children, sometimes with children with very low self-esteem, can also trigger these, uh, you know, body ailments to themselves, because the brain is so nervous and your whole body is so nervous that you get so exhausted, and then sometimes thinking that you are having fever, you're having stomach, the body actually responds to that, and you may also have that. Okay, so students who have difficulty completing their assignments on time, mm, written work on time, even in the classroom exams, or even if it's homework that it comes incomplete. Children who forget about their homeworks, forget about, um, you know, during tests especially, and I don't know how many of you take tuitions. But I'm sure you've had experiences with some students where you've taken tuitions, you've studied with them for hours, but in the morning when they sit for exams, they're like, I studied everything, but I forgot. Have you had experiences with those kind of children? If yes, then that's also something that you have to pick on that, because many children cannot retain information, and that's why it's not about, you didn't give your heart, you didn't give your, you're not serious about it. It doesn't happen like that, because the brain just cannot register information for a longer period of time, and that's why even memorizing phone numbers is difficult. So, you know, I think most of us also have difficulty memorizing the mobile numbers these days because we have also become so reliable to our cell phones and all that. But for children with dyslexia or SLDs, it's very different. How they see numbers and how they see alphabets, memorizing and putting things in sequence, everything is so challenging. So it just doesn't work out for them. Okay.